See, I applied for my Indian status and was refused, although my cousins have it. My daughter has it through the same heritage, and I was refused and the rest of us were. So, to me it's a farce, the whole thing. I feel it's discrimination because, there are people that are 2 steps lower than I am, and they've got their status and I don't have mine, and my children don't have theirs. Well, one daughter has it. She applied years ago. Now, can you pick any sense out of this? She applied, she got it through my heritage, and they deny me. Well, at my age now, it doesn't really it wouldn't really mean a whole lot. But I would have liked to get it so my children could get it, and my grandchildren at least.
I think just them bringing that to us where we could trace our ancestry back to find out where we come from, I think that was fantastic. But to find out our culture was Indian, I was proud of it. I was. We had to do a lot of research, and there was a couple of, one feller in particular, Scott Garnier, only for him, he done a lot of research. He had a lot of research. He come down to the house and he helped me, and, on the last we had 4 direct lines to Mi'kmaq, proven lines.
I was authorized, confirmed for my status before Qalipu started. It's only when Qalipu started that I got my status. My family sued the federal government and Federation of Newfoundland Indians. When they first started Qalipu, they were going to leave with 7,000 people. And I was one of those 7,000 people. So we decided to sue the federal government, and we won in Supreme Court. And that's why Qalipu started.
Part of my family ended up with it, and some didn't.
Yeah.
And even his, he also didn't apply.
Some brothers, sisters get it, others don't.
Yeah.
It's, if you're Indian, you're Indian. If you're not, you're not. So no matter where you live.
Everybody figures that they just went through things and what they didn't like threw in garbage. Because, you write the same thing down, So.
We talk to people everywhere, and it's the same thing. Métis, Manitoba. Métis are all over the prairies, and it's only lately that they're starting to get recognition through their mouth.
Well, I fought for a lot of years, so it's not doing me any good, because the only time it's going to do me any good is if I went and bought a new car. Well, 77 now, I don't need a new car. And but my grandkids and my kids and my grandkids is doing them good. And so, you got to take care of them if you can't do it at all. So it's proven out to be all right that way. Initially, when we went to school, we were called jacketars. Then when I asked Dad, and he said, "Yeah, you're French and Indian." We didn't consider. People thought that they were insulting us, but we didn't consider it as an insult. We knew. How can you change something that you are? So we didn't. They didn't hurt our feelings until the first time probably. But when we got to know what they meant, what the word meant, we didn't care.
Oh, it was good. It was good. Yeah, sure. It was nice to have, nice to know too. Because went back right through my ancestry, and I come to figure out, well, Joan, his grandfather, and my great grandmother were brothers and sisters, so we could end up going back on the same line of Youngs. They were Youngs. Mariah Young was my great grandmother, and her grandfather was Daniel, yeah. But they were brother and sister, so we went on in that line of ancestry. Henry Young and all of them on the line, all Indian descent, yeah. It's good to know, but it's a good feeling about it too, though,
Well, my dad and then Rick started it. Our brother Rick, he was the first one. So we all went under him, but of course had to be approved. I did get my approval, and lost it again. They took it back from me. And then, so my dad had his status, so I went under him. And that's where I am today.
I never did get mine.
We,
I got my brother Billy, he was the lead applicant. And all the same information, we had identical information.
but he couldn't get
So
it.
I think, I think last time we filled out, okay, maybe we'll get the DNA done if you need to.
Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah, I'd do a DNA test, right?
I joined the band, Port band in 2000. So after I got everything all straightened up, I joined the band with my family, right?
Does it mean a lot to you to have your status card?
Yes, it do, yeah. Yeah, oh yes. I'm proud. Oh yes.
And I was turned down. In our family, there was, at the time, there was about 7 or 8 of us at the same time, but only one got it. The rest were turned down because we weren't in the first group. I think that was the thing they said, but if you got status, you got status, They asked me to, I did it when we reapplied again, and then I signed on with Kippen's group down there, and I guess I don't know if it'll ever going to happen, but maybe, well, to me it's not a big deal right now, but it might be for the kids, and stuff like that. So that's as far as I went with that. So what's going to happen, I don't know. I got no idea.
4 or 5 of us in our family got it with the papers we sent in. And I got brothers who sent in the same copies, and they never got chosen. Oh, it's really unfair. I think it's unfair. It should be all or nothing, I think. I mean, I know on CBC News there was a mother with 2 twin boys. One of them got it, and she got it, but the other fellow didn't. They must pick like the bingo balls when it pops up, they grab a name. I don't know.
Well, it would mean that I have my recognition of who I am. Because I feel like I'm out in limbo now. I mean, because I don't have it, right? And because I don't have it, I know who I am, but I can't tell that to people because, well, do you have your status? No, well, you're not Mi'kmaq. Yeah, well, I am. Yeah, but I can't prove that, right? So that's why. But that's the way it goes, I guess.
It was wonderful. I mean, I had no problem with the fact that I hadn't, the background. I knew that there was. Well, I'm not surprised to be known as an Indian. I don't care. I'm proud to be an Indian.
But I tell you, getting my status, it wasn't very hard for me, because my mother was Indian, my grandmother was Indian, and I get my Indian status from my mother and my mother's side. Back in the day, you didn't want anybody to call you an Indian. But growing up, I always felt that I was an Indian, if you like, because I was in the woods. I started going in the woods with a young man, snaring rabbits and shooting ducks and stuff.
One of the things that interests me is, native status. I never knew I had any native blood until 15 years ago. My father always said we never had any native ancestry. And it wasn't until my sister did a course in university and started doing the ancestral tree that, we got any kind of knowledge that we might have had Indian blood. But when you talk about an Indian way of life or how it was like for a native growing up, we never identified as being Indian or having any Mi'kmaq ancestry. And those people who may have thought they had native ancestry weren't about to go about talking about it. They kept that to themselves. I think most of the people in the area, probably a good 80% of those who have Native ancestry now, their parents did not know anything about it.